Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander TFW. I almost said Mikey, Corporate Commander TFW, but that's not my name. That's your name,
that's
Mikey.
That's our fusion dance.
Oh, I was worried you were going to say that's our child.
That's our beautiful baby boy.
That's that child. Yes, we're joined by Mikey again this week. The Alice Gundam to my Earthrise.
You've been
3.
really on an Alice Gundam kick this week.
Well, that's only because I got the kit this week.
I suspected as much because you've talked to me. Like, I've gotten so many messages about it, and I'm just like, I don't remember if you watched that part of the show.
How many messages?
I don't know, like 5, 6?
No.
Yes.
No.
You were really annoyed that we didn't get the other armors. You're really annoyed we didn't get the other armors, and don't. I
did say that because I did put that on Twitter as well. Because the ones that
I
I
only
left
saw
out
that
was
today.
the Turn X, which was stupid because Turn X is also really cool, always really cool. The Turn X is a great design, and it's the last thing they did for it was a master grade a good few years ago, and it was a decent design on the Alice. And then the other one was the Ali Al Sarchez redo of the Eins, the Zwei, the Arch. It was the Arch, which was a redo of the Eins Zwei Dry Throne.
Or Arc.
Yeah, one of those ones. And that looked really good as well, and it's like, nah, we're not going to do them. Oh.
Apparently that was put in because the voice actor for the pilot of that died.
For the Arc Gundam?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, really?
Like, the actor who played the pilot in 00... So, yeah, it's Trans Am, so 00. Died, and then they it was a late edition. But
I didn't know the voice actor for Ali Al Sarchez had died. That's a bummer. He couldn't have been too old. Wow.
But so
it would be nice to honor him with a. Well, I mean, it wouldn't have cared that much. But you know what would be nice? Honor with another bottle kit or something. I don't know. Hey, Mikey, we're here to talk about Transformers this week.
No, they need to. They're doing another repaint of the core Gundam. It's fine.
I did see that. Is it the Gundam Hobby Base? The big stores are doing like a 3-pack with all the core Gundams. The first core Gundam, the last core Gundam that came out, and the Alice one, but all in different colors. Because I was like, I wouldn't be against that pack because I think all of them were in these. Like, because of course they were like evil dark colors, and I was like, that looked pretty nice. I was like, that's not terrible.
I think the Alice is being done in like that beginner, like prototype color.
What's the beginning prototype color? What do you mean?
Oh, it's like a dark bluey gray.
Oh, that's probably what I'm thinking of. It is in a 3-pack though, right? I'm sure it is.
I'm trying to remember, but
I mean, this is the issue with like limited edition or special edition versions of Gundam kits coming out. It's just, hey, there's store exclusives, there's the P Bandai exclusives, then there's like special day event exclusives.
Yeah. I've got it up here. Let's see. So we've got. Oh, I see. Okay, so the Alice is in white. So the Alice low visibility version, they're calling it. So it's
even
white
though
with
it's
a
in white.
Mildly purple chest.
I don't think low visibility is what I think of when I think of white.
The Core Gundam 2 is being done in like almost a gunmetal grey with the clear parts in green.
Yeah.
And
that's
the Core Gundam is being done in black, silver, and very like light purple. Light purple. Kind of, the it's a redo, the G-Self redo from Build.
Which one's? Oh, yeah.
The same color scheme as that.
It's a redo of the Reconquista or whatever it's called.
Yeah. The G-Self, I think it was originally called. I don't.
Lame. It's a crappy Gundam show, so.
I saw one episode of it years ago and it turned me off.
Yes, it turned most people off. No one. I don't think anybody liked that show. I could be wrong. There might be a few, but not many.
I know at the time he was pushing it like it's the latest Universal Century one.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah, he's also like pushed it like 100 or a couple of thousand years in the future, like post-apocalyptic.
Is it post Crossbones then?
No, like Crossbone's still in the Universal, like within 20 or 30 years of
F91.
I think Crossbone's coeval with Victory.
Really?
Or it's like around the same time?
Oh.
Because I know it's like, I think Crossbone Dust is the latest of the Universal Century things. I think so, and that's still not that far ahead of Victory, because they've got a couple of Victory Gundams in it. But this is like thousands of years in the future, as far as I know. With Reckonis, and it's like
I'm sure it was done and dusted at this point, but I guess it keeps on going.
No, it will never be done because the guy has a weird. It's done by the original Gundam guy, and he only does one thing. Like he tried to tie Turn A in. Which completely broke, because then because at the time he was kind of like going like, oh, all Gundam shows, even the ones I wasn't involved in, all take place in the same universe.
And it's like, no, it can't. That's
Gundam
impossible.
X takes place in the Universal Century.
Yeah.
Gundam X. So, but like, I'm just double checking here. Yeah, like towards 1,000 years after the end, the Reglid Century, 1,000 years at the end of the Universal Century. And at the end of it, they bring in a small bit of Universal Century tech. But yeah, like, he tried to make Turn A, like, Wing and X and G Gundam all happened in the same universe as RX-78 and everything else. And I'm just, really? Because what actually happened is that you now created, like, a black hole of continuity where everything is being sucked in.
I think the only way that could be justified in happening is if you had it so each of these weirder continuities is like when human history gets to the destruction point, doesn't completely die, but goes back to medieval Stone Age and then rebuilds from medieval Stone Age to get back to where we were and just forgot their previous history. That's the only way you could do it and justify it. And that's a fucking stretch in itself.
That's really dumb. And now I think the official stance is Turn A is still the end point of all Gundam realities, but they are different realities.
Yes, that's how I always kind of saw it.
So somehow, at some point, there's going to be a big multiversal event where basically they go through a crisis in Infinite Earths, and all Gundam realities, including all the build realities, are going to merge into a big black hole and outspews the Turn A universal line.
Which is weird,
so
because in the build continuities they have the Turn A and things in those continuities as well.
Yeah, because Turn A is always the like furthest down the road. Yeah, I know that, like, officially. So somehow they're literally going to Infinite Crisis the Gundam universe. I
mean, that could be a cool idea for a movie.
I really wish that wouldn't just make it's that thing that made the Japanese and Car go like, oh, we have to make everything we can tie into G1. You really don't.
To be fair, though, Sakamoto did a really good job doing that.
Sakamoto did an amazing thing, but it was all the people beforehand. You were saying like, oh, well, RID 2001, that's G1. That's G1.
Yeah, it's when the people are just like, it just is. Why? It just is. And you're like,
marketing.
No.
And but I'm much more a fan of just like, listen, it's just a franchise.
Yes.
None of it's connected. It's just a franchise.
Like Star Trek and Discovery. It's a franchise. They're not connected. They're not.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I rewatched Star Trek 2009 either this week or last week, and I was like, wow. It was last week, yeah. Ooh. I almost rewatched Into Darkness this week, and
why?
Because I was like, it's been so long, maybe it's better than I remember.
No,
but
it's not.
Then I stopped myself. I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
Because I saw that relatively recently.
Did you? Why did you see that recently?
Because I hadn't seen it before.
You'd never seen it before?
I think it was like a year or two ago was the first time I saw Into Darkness.
Wow. What do you think?
It wasn't good.
No.
It was a terrible movie.
Yeah. What do you think of the redesign of the Klingons? That was also one of many. It was a minor issue compared to everything else that thing did.
That's a conversation we've been having since, Discovery.
What did they do to the Klingons? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, and the Discovery designs got worse when they basically caved to pressure and said like, oh, well, at this time Klingons shave their head when they go into battle.
No, wasn't it? Those ones were shaved because they were part of a religious extremist or something.
Or something.
Like,
and then they went back and then they grew hair out, and then you had like that face design with hair, and it looked
Not even hair, like really bad wigs. Really bad wigs. Hey guys, you might not know, there's not much Transformers news this week, so we are going to probably be gabbing about garbage, so hang on with us. We'll get to the Transformers stuff. But yeah, man, those, I remember, that was it season 1 or season 2 of Discovery where they had the Klingon rape the human man scene?
Oh, that was season 1.
That was season 1.
Because he wasn't human, remember. He was a character they pretended was going to be important.
Spoilers.
Who ultimately wasn't.
Yeah.
Because his whole backstory meant nothing.
Well, no, remember, the only reason why he didn't matter was because he wasn't Michael Burnham, the only character that matters in that show.
But then they literally murdered him.
They did that too.
They mental murdered him, so he would matter even less.
Yeah.
Even less.
It's fine.
Despite the fact he was one of the most heavily advertised characters in the show. And they were trying to go like, ooh, look at the mystery. It's just like, mysteries need to matter.
Was he one of the most advertised? I don't remember that.
He was like one of the most prominent things, and they really milked the fact that they never listed his actor.
Really?
Like, I remember that distinctly. They were always like, we have never listed his actor. Who could it be?
Oh my God.
And everyone was just like, it's that guy who showed up in midway through the show because you're making too much of a mystery of this, so it really can't be anyone else.
Are you sure about that?
And then it turned out it didn't matter because it means nothing.
You mean nothing.
And then people are like, well, we made a story arc of it in season 2. You made an arc of it in season 2. Story was a bit of a stretch.
Oh, Discovery. I think the best thing about the current Star Trek are the reviews that come out, pulling them apart. That's literally the best thing about it. Just people destroying those shows and being like, this doesn't make sense. Or this is bad.
I'm glad that ultimately I genuinely don't care enough to be emotionally invested. Like, I'm glad I'm past that stage in my life where, apart from like podcast nonsense, I'm quite happy to forget bad TV shows and bad media exist and just not care or not like, man, I need to go online and complain about this right now.
Sure, but I think my issue is I'm annoyed that we've been robbed the opportunity of good Star Trek, because Star Trek was for long portion of my life very, very important TV show, and was very good for the longest time, and then they just stopped. But then again, a lot of TV shows just stopped arguably being good, I suppose you could say.
I mean, you could say that I think every show that goes on too long has at least a significant not being good section.
That's true, but like when Star Trek started, obviously 60s or 70s version, that wasn't great, but then it stopped for a while, then came back really strong with Next Gen, and then continued arguably until Deep Space Nine-ish, and also had Voyager, but continued until that point, being very strong. Even the movies were pretty well regarded, I think. I mean, there was only I'd only really say one of the Star Trek movies before what was it called? Generations was bad, and that was Final Frontier. All the other ones were at best at worst that's fine. You know? That would the that's fine one would probably be Search for Spock. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't like Star Trek, the original movie.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yes.
At
yeah,
all.
You can also throw that in. It's a very, very slow episode. A very, very it's an episode that they drug out to be a movie length for some reason. And it wasn't even a good Star Trek TV episode either. It was slow. Very slow. I don't know, man. It's weird. Star Trek though, Mikey. Hey, you and I it. Or liked it. It doesn't exist anymore. Mikey, shall we talk about our 3 amazing bits of sexual news this week that aren't sexual?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. We'll kick off with the first bit of news, which is Fans Hobby MB13 Ace Hitter, being the Master Force Headmaster Junior Goshooter, a Goshooter, if you want to read it like that. Would you read it as Goshooter or Goshooter?
Well, it's a football pun, so Goshooter.
Yeah, I like the fact that they've written it as one big word. So
Goshooter. Did they write it as one word?
Yeah. If you look in the title.
Goshooter. But that's not how you spell it.
What do you mean? It's Goshooter?
Because his name's Go, and it's a guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Master Force, there's a kid called Cab.
Yeah,
whatever his fucking name was.
He lived in the jungle with a monkey. It's fine.
He did, but it's not Goshooter.
No, it's Goshooter.
Goshooter. That's his name.
Goshooter.
His mother didn't shoot him out and say like, "Go, shooter."
She went, "Gosh, it's just as well we're called the Utas, isn't it?"
Yeah, Goshooter. Yeah,
Gosh,
it's so nice that my son was born here in Germanic Japan. Yeah.
I actually like the idea that would have been a nice little thing.
That's a VTuber story. That's a VTuber backstory.
That he was German and born in Japan. That's just the human being person story. That's not an amazing VTuber story.
That was Kiara's original backstory. That she was like.
Are you saying Kiara was known as Goshooter?
I would be surprised if there wasn't originally an idea for her to be playing up the whole "I'm German" thing, or well, Austrian, but perhaps. Australian. Sorry.
Oh man, she should have been doing more Arnie stuff with the Austrian stuff. I'm just saying she missed the boat there. Well, I know it's not the 80s, but it's not the fucking point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she only did classes 1 to 5.
That's enough.
What happened to 3 and 4? For anyone who doesn't know, just look up Gura Dum, and I think it was Austria or Germany.
I was gonna say Gura Dum will bring up so many clips. Bless her tiny little shark face. Bless it. So yeah, we've got the ace hitter, Goshooter. We must have talked about this boy before. I guess. I'm sure we must have done. Yeah, it's Goshooter. I will say he has not a TV accurate head. It's more akin to the toy, I guess, but you can very much tell it's not the most transformable headmaster into a head. As the face is very small and you can clearly see the visible arms on the side. I'm not exactly sure what aesthetic they are going for here. I've yet to see. Is it master grade scale?
It's masterpiece. It's definitely masterpiece.
Masterpiece scale. Okay, of course it is.
Yeah, I would say this is really it's a good paint scheme, and the figure looks very solid.
Yes.
Worries about Fans Hobby's quality aside and everything else. But I think the head is a little bit too much Marvel Nightbeat.
Do you think it's because they've sacrificed it to be a posable Titan Master or a Headmaster on its own? Because I think that's reduced it, because that is quite posable. Yeah. It's got elbow joints, shoulder joints, and all that stuff.
I think it's the fact that the Master Force head is quite distinct.
It is, yeah. And
I think this was designed as Nightbeat. So I think that, well, not Nightbeat, whichever one, Siren, sorry. And I think this looks more like it's based, like they went with the G1 Marvel-esque face for Siren.
Okay.
And I think that did lead to him looking a bit odd as Goshooter.
Yeah.
Goshooter, now I'm doing it, Goshooter. But if anyone come back at me about phonetics of Romanjing, katakana, and kanji, and everything else, I will. Hey!
It literally says on this story, Goshooter. It literally it says that. It doesn't say go dash and then shooter.
I never want to refer to it as anything else now. I want it to be like this weird Bavarian robot.
Well, instead of Siren, we can call him Goshooter.
Goshooter, yeah. Hello, it is Goshooter, yeah. I will drink a beer.
I don't think we ever had a stereotypical German voice transformer before, do we? We had Australian, we had British. One. Who was the German one?
What was his name? The Doctor.
Oh, yeah. That's right. From Revenge.
We will have the brain on the table.
That's
chop,
right.
Chop.
God, I forgot about him.
Casual racism.
Well, that's the staple of Transformers voice acting. Yep.
And as I think Vangelis once said, it's fine because it's the Germans. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but they did it with the Australians and the British. They didn't leave it just to the Germans.
No, their Australian was. I nearly died the first time I watched Cybertron.
Oh well, yeah, you would do. Because
that was actually because I didn't really remember Outback very well, and I'd seen Armada and Energon. I was just like, okay, Scott McNeil's take on Jetfire, blah blah blah. And then they did, the whole recast, and it was Brian Drummond, I think, who did Jetfire in Cybertron.
Oh, you might be right, yeah.
And I'll never forget how okay, I didn't even know what episode it was, and then it turned out it didn't matter because the airing order was shit. But I turned it on, and he was just like, "G'day, I'm Jetfire. I've got a Nebulan accent." It's just like,
why?
And then it just got weirder.
I've got a Nebulan accent. That sounds much more like an Australian accent, Jeff.
But then it got weirder because they all had accents.
They did. That's how they were distinct. It wasn't by their looks or the personality. It was by their voice or accent.
I've never figured out, like, I know Galaxy Force was originally conceived as a sequel, but then got converted into a standalone story, which has retroactively been marketed as a sequel, even though it's super not.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to find out why there was such a production change between Energon and Cybertron.
No.
I've looked into it a bit, and I can't find, all I can find is that Hasbro asked for Cybertron to be the capper of the trilogy.
Okay.
But that doesn't explain it doesn't explain the bizarre approach to the production and the character writing and everything else. It certainly doesn't explain why you didn't change you changed the scripts in weird places, but you didn't change them in other places. Like, you kept lots of elements from Cybertron or Galaxy Force that were completely distinct from Armada and Energon, like the fact that they'd been on Earth before.
Yeah, figuring out Cybertron's just a mess.
But then they added these really weird standalone still shots at the very end of the show.
Oh god, I forgot about them.
Which included hot shots.
Yeah,
from Energon.
That's right. Didn't it go through the kids as well from Armada?
Yeah, but the one from I'll never forget the one from Energon. That was there because it was at a wedding, which hot shot from Cybertron was attending.
Huh.
But a disembodied head of Energon Hotshot was hovering behind Kicker. Not Ironhide. Not the guy Kicker actually had an association with. And don't even get me started on what it means for poor old Screamer.
Yeah, that was a mess too.
Yeah.
What a weird show.
What a weird fucking show.
Yeah, it was. I think it's arguable it was the worst of the Transformers media.
Oh, I think Energon is worse than Cybertron.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that kind of trilogy era.
It was I think it's arguably the most
confusing,
difficult.
Yeah.
Because they were experimenting a bit with animation, but they were clearly on a weird budget.
Yep. They were trying some interesting things, at least, I suppose you could say. And we got some decent-ish toys, I guess, from it. Got some very good toys.
Some fun. Also some terrible ones.
Yeah, that's so true. Lesser as he got onto Cybertron, though. Cybertron had some really good, solid figures, for the most part.
Yeah.
There were a few that were just like, that's okay. But obviously in the Armada, they were very focused on doing gimmicks. Very, very focused. But Goshooter, Mikey, or Goshooter. What do you think? Any thoughts on him or it? I don't think it's going to look well on a G1 shelf of Masterpiece figures, just because of its very distinct head design.
No, I don't think. I'm not expecting anything great. It's one of those things. I think if you have the other Fans Hobby toys, it will look good.
I guess, yeah, that's true. If they haven't all died.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things where if you try and doing I'm doing a mixed Masterpiece shelf from different companies, and I don't think it'll work. It is my take on the situation.
Oh my god. All right, do you want to take us on, Mikey, to the next bit of news?
Money.
Hell yeah.
So Hasbro, and this is hilarious to me because I looked, I put on Twitter the price for the Megatron Spoiler Set.
Yeah, how much was that, Mikey?
$72.99.
And remind the people what that set includes.
That is a Voyager Megatron.
Mm-hmm. Which one? There are so many.
It's the same toy we've been getting for the last 5 times, which we will talk about again today.
You should have just said the silver one.
The bucket head.
Yes.
And a purple Paleotrex.
Mm-hmm.
And a bandolier.
Yes. I think there's something else in there as well, isn't there?
The Matrix to go on the bandolier.
Oh, that's it. There you go. Yeah.
Which is costing almost the same price as in America. Actually, when you convert it to dollars, it costs almost the same price as a Commander figure.
That seems fair. That seems like a good deal.
which are now overpriced in my opinion because Rodimus is coming out.
Yay!
So, on the spirit of that,
why didn't we get a promotional box, Mikey, from Hasbro? I can't remember.
I don't know. I've asked for stuff before and I never get replies. Hasbro 2021's first quarter financial results conference call, the toy giant stated that they will be raising toy prices to counter the rising raw material costs. Hasbro Inc. said on Tuesday it would raise prices of toys and games to counter higher raw material costs as the company sees surging demand for its Nerf blasters and board games from families spending more time at home. Shares in Monopoly Maker, which late on Monday announced its sale of Entertainment One Music to Blackstone Group for $385 million, rose 1% in the morning trading. So I believe that means that Hasbro's actually worth more money.
Oh, good. Okay.
So now they want more money. Freight and input cost increase have become more pronounced over the last several months, and we have plans in place to help mitigate the cost, including price increases for the second half of the year. Toymaker has to contend with rising resin, packaging, and metal prices, as well as soaring transportation costs due to high demand and supply disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, and that time a big boat got stuck in a river.
Yay.
Or got stuck in the slough, I suppose.
Slough.
So... yeah, expect toys to be more expensive. I would say Voyagers will almost certainly go up to $35.
Oh God.
How
much will they raise deluxes by? Because they're already like nearly £20.
Well, they're over £20 here.
Yeah. Do you think they'll just make them a solid 20-25?
25.
Because I remember I was super arsy about the price increase already. If we're going to,
they could go up to 22.
Again,
I could see them doing 22.
I can't see myself spending 22 when you could buy a £15 Gundam kit and get it shipped, and it'll probably be cheaper, arguably.
One thing is, of course, for like countries like Ireland, where again, what they do is they usually take the US price and change the number in front of it.
Yeah.
Except with stuff like the Megatron set, in which case they double the price. I would expect like leaders are going to go up to 70. Absolutely, I would be, because that's how they. I would be very surprised that this was a €1 or €2 jump,
I'd be
or
surprised,
£1 or £2 jump. This is going to be like in an increment of 5, I'd say.
And I definitely think it's fair to say that the prices won't go back down again. They will. I mean, what always happens is the price goes up, they stay up. They never go back down.
It's not going to be a case of, okay, shipping costs and production costs have reduced. We will, give the saving back to our buyer.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying like they're definitely going up a fiver each. Or whatever.
Of course.
I'm just saying like I would not be shocked if they did.
Mm-hmm.
They're also doing like we're not covering it as a news story because we do not understand it. But we're doing the NFT thing for undisclosed thing, which is a absolute money-making half scam from what little I know about. Cybertron Twincast podcast, did a breakdown of it, which I still don't understand, but they at least got the explanation across to people who understand these things.
Did they know what they were talking about? I assume they probably did.
One of them did.
Oh.
One of them definitely did.
Okay.
But like you're talking like it's not something my brain processes.
No.
But like it's also like the big thing for a lot of people is like it has the environmental impact of running a small town for a month making one of these things. So, and Hasbro's about to do a lot of damage to any environmental moves they've made.
Hooray!
Because they will be doing thousands of these things if they do them. But yeah, so prices are going up. Presumably we can blame Nerf and board games.
Fucking Nerf.
And that's before you get into things like hey, G.I. Joe is probably going to get more expensive now, despite the fact there is less in the box.
Ah, fantastic. Even more difficult to acquire.
Well. Like, Lightning Collection and G.I. Joe should probably be cheaper than what they are, but we all know why they don't do it, because they're trying not to undervalue their Star Wars.
Exactly. And Marvel.
Which are
Marvel as well.
And Marvel.
Yeah.
But they're both going to go up, presumably, which means they're going to drag all the other 6-inch action figures with them.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, Hasbro is kind of the king of toy market at the moment. I don't know if Mattel is going to do something similar, but we'll see. I
mean, I don't know from your perspective, but from mine, if the prices do rise, it will stop me from. I was begrudgingly buying some of the newer figures, like the Megatron and stuff, because I thought they were good. But if they push the price up again, it'll have to be me stand back and go, okay, Transformers, I can't justify buying you until you go on the sale, or I buy you secondhand, like 3 years down the road. Yeah, it'll be
if I'm already struggling to afford it with everything else I'm like doing at the moment.
The crippling porn addiction, of course.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. But it'd be sales in secondary market.
Yeah,
because it just has to be like.
Yeah,
and that's not me. I'm not having a go at like. Again, I know there are plenty of people out there who, again, paying $100 for a figure is not something they worry about.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how they want to spend the money, of course, that's all good.
I've spent a huge amount of money in the last month on stuff I have to spend money on, and I've got another $800 to go on like car insurance when I get in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, thank God! That's always fun.
So I went from being fairly financially stable to a lot less financially stable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a person who can pay whatever they're asking, or like I'm not like I was listening to a podcast where someone saying I don't like this toy, but I'm still going to buy it.
Ooh, really?
Like I can't be that guy.
Really?
Yeah, that's a very common thing. Like to be a completionist for every line, even if like 4 months down the road you sell it, but it's a very common thing.
I'm such a little bitch when it comes to spending money. I'm such a frugal boy. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's insane.
I'm very dumb with money.
I don't know what you mean, Mikey.
I can be incredibly stupid with money.
No.
I am immature. It's something I own. But listen, all my spending in the last month has been practical spending. So
yeah, I mean, yeah. To be fair, no, that is true. Don't pass this,
including replacement of stolen goods.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking of mainly for that kind of stuff and Gundam stuff. That's essential as well.
Again, I can get a lot more for my money though with Gundam.
It's true,
and for my time. Right, it's something like someone was saying flame. I think I said it before. Someone said like flame toys. Are they really worth it for the money for the amount of time for what they are? And I would just like. I think for what they are, I think they're worth more money than a Transformer at the same price.
I would argue in like the devil's advocate standpoint is that completely depends on what your perspective is on building. If you hate building the figures, or you generally don't like how a model kit feels, because there is obviously that's a massive difference in terms of the quality feel of a figure versus that. So if you value that more than like the process of building, fair enough. I get it. That makes sense. I like building, and to a lesser extent, I kind of like painting, but I hurt myself too much with self-criticism to really say that I love painting, you know?
But anyway, the walk away from this is that be aware that you will probably be shilling out more for your collector habits.
How much? We don't know.
We have no idea. Could be 50 cents. Could be 50 million.
Wow. Hopefully not 50 million. Let's throw that out there. Hopefully not 50 million.
50 Earth millions.
Oh my God. Shall I take us on to the last story then, Mr. Mikey? Mikey.
No.
Oh, did you want to take it?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about something
I don't want to talk about
Mikey will spend money on, even though he doesn't want to.
We just had a conversation.
Yeah, we did. And we're going to go back on it, I think. I think you're going to step back on your words. Also, we've talked about how many times this mold's been used. That's right, everybody. Part 2 of a 4-part series, or 5-part series.
Part 6 of a 2-part series.
All right, whatever it is. Shattered Glass figure has been revealed for the Generations line. Generation Select or Special or whatever. It's the Shattered Glass Collection Megatron and IDW Shattered Glass Megatron. Hang on, what? Shattered Glass Collection Megatron and IDW Shattered Glass Megatron.
This is not based on the BotCon stuff. This is based on the new comic that's coming out.
It's weird how they kind of wrote it like that, though. Either way, it's a redo of Earthrise?
No.
Oh,
no,
good.
It's Siege.
Oh, thank God. The one that's barely been touched. Excellent. Yeah, the Siege mold of
what?
You would.
What?
They've never done.
What?
They've never.
Sorry, what?
They've only released the Siege Megatron once. Never again.
Let's do it. We did a count before. Let's do a recent count.
What proof do you have that mold was ever used again? Ever? What proof do you have, sir?
Let us apply mathematics.
Slam hands on desk. Objection.
Desk Chan -10. Also, if it's objection, you should do the Phoenix one.
I don't know what that is. I only know it's objection.
Objection.
Ah, that's the one. Okay,
that one.
You know, the only interaction I've really had with Phoenix Wright was on Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I've never had any interaction with him.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Siege 1. Original Siege figure. The worst one. Kombat Megatron, which is the original G2 version. Classic animation, right? Which is the next one. The Decepticon Megatron promotional Netflix version. That's 4. Okay. Now we're into... Oh, yeah, the one that's coming out in the Netflix spoiler box.
Right, yes.
That is Siege.
Oh, good.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then obviously there's a very minor retool into Earthrise, which is 6.
Yep.
And then there's the G2, the green G2 one, which is 7. And now 8. So 8 reuses of the same Megatron mold in 2 years.
Oh, thank God. We need some more.
8. Who's left to do?
Well, to be fair, the amount of times they've just done Megatron just again, but with a different justification, they could just do that again. So, don't push
Megatron leaning with the light coming slightly from the left.
Yeah, exactly. So what does this figure include? This Megatron figure includes the Megatron figure, obviously, a fusion cannon, a staple, a sword, and shield accessory, which is a leftover from the Siege version, of course, and instructions. Plus, one of the shield parts, or the shield part in question, will allow him, you also get 2 wing parts, it doesn't mention that here for some reason, will allow him to turn into a very clearly not tank jet form, which is totally legit. Let me tell you the points, Mikey.
It's Prime Megatron. I can't unsee it now.
Part of the Shard Glass collection. It's a Voyager class figure, obviously.
Figure can still turn into the tank, by the way, before you start.
Yes.
Go on. Because it has that sword, it can still do the tank mode.
It can, even though it was the worst tank mode. It was a really bad tank mode. The figure depicts the righteous Decepticon commander, Megatron, with decos and details inspired by the Shard Glass universe. Converts from robot to Cybertronian spaceship, in quotations, or should be in quotations, in 18 steps. Features red Decepticon logo, I don't know why that's a feature, and detachable Energon wings in robot mode. Cool. Comes with the second of the 5-issue IDW Shard Glass miniseries with Hasbro Pulse exclusive cover you can only get with this figure. Features a spot UV. Ultraviolet?
Say what? Where does it say that?
At the end, it says comes with the IDW blah blah blah. Only get with the figure.
Oh, it's probably
featuring.
It's probably going to be like those bloody scan. Hey, do you have a UV light? Put it over the box and get a secret message for a website.
Wow, why is this box so white and sticky?
Who has that many? Why is it do enough children have UV lights that's a marketing ploy?
Parents do, who are really scared about hygiene and going to hotels.
I'd still say that's a relatively small proportion of parents.
I will say that I did see a pretty good repaint retool of this. A Digibash someone did into what's it called? Superlink Megatron.
Yeah, no, that's what the original one was, so that makes sense.
Yeah. But apart from that, it's like, hey, Mikey, why do you want this figure apart from because it's a Gridman reference?
It is the most distinct version of this toy by a large mile.
What do you mean by distinct?
Well, it's not based on any of the normal G1 guys.
Oh, okay, because it's...
And it comes with extra parts.
Right. I will accept that more so.
And I can't believe they didn't remold the face. He looks so angry.
Yeah. It was a weird choice.
This is the heroic mathematician Megatron. And he's just glaring like...
He might be a very grumpy mathematician.
You forgot to carry the one. The jet mode is generous, shall we say.
Yeah, what do you think of the jet mode?
Like I said, I just look at it, it's got the outline of Prime Megatron.
It does have the outline of it.
The same, cannon in the middle, big, broad front, stubby wings.
Yep.
It also is basically you turn the body into the tank, and then you put a little thing on the legs.
You turn the thighs outwards or inwards, one of the two.
I mean,
Inwards, because the wheels are on the other side. That's right.
I think it's fair to say it would be generous to say it's a revolutionary approach.
No, this to me screams more of a fan mode with a third party company making 3 extra parts.
Yeah.
Because that's all this takes to make. I mean, you've got 2 wings and you've got the front cockpit thing. So if a third party company happens to want to be a bit cheeky, all they have to do, I guess, is not make the exact same version, but do something similar, and then you can make movie Megatron using the Siege body.
But I really wish they'd redone the head.
Mikey, what if they do an upgrade kit where they don't do wings, but they do a helicopter thing and make it the animated Megatron?
Oh, like some people are really mad because they think this should have been based off the Galvatron.
Which Galvatron?
The one that's coming out. I've seen that conversation a lot because technically Super Link Megatron is a design homage to Galvatron.
That's true.
So if you did a Galvatron toy into this character with a new head, it would work. I've also seen people say that this should have been Super Megatron.
Which one? Oh, that would have been a really neat idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a repaint, so it wouldn't be perfect, but...
Yeah, and it would be more expensive. But again, that is based off of Galvatron mold, so they've got a lot... Like, the legs certainly have a lot of the details.
Sure.
I would prefer something with a bit more effort. But...
Would you prefer anything?
I'm gonna buy it. I've avoided this toy for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting Blur?
No, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Blur, there's no emotional thing, but he does look fairly decent.
Yeah. And you're going to get, you've already got a few Shard Glass stuff, so why not go all in?
The problem, if I get this, I have to get the Recon Android as well.
The which one? Oh, the Recon Android. Don't you have her?
Yeah. No, I've just got Akane.
Okay. I would have thought you would have got her.
No, I don't have her at the moment.
You could get the Rika Figma as well.
I don't have the Akane Figma.
Yeah.
I don't want to have one without the... Don't be that guy.
Not one without the other.
No one likes that guy.
No, it's true.
So yes. So expect at some point awkward photos of the Shattered Glass Prime being really sexually suggestive with this Megatron.
Oh, no.
Because it's just Rika and Akane to me.
Oh, you know what you should do, Mikey? You need to buy the purple transforming lollipop. Because it would go along with it.
I would, but I'd want him to hold it, and I don't think he could.
No, that's true. No, he couldn't hold it.
No, but
Damn.
this is a toy where I accept its reality.
Yes,
and I accept the reality of that I will own it.
I think
I am not enthused by it.
I think I'd be more behind it if the suggestion that you made or that you saw somebody else make, which was to use the Galvatron. I think that would be a little bit better, just on the pure basis that it would not be the fucking Megatron mold again.
For the 8th time, I believe now.
Yes, and it's not like Galvatron doesn't, he doesn't have a lot of recolors in him. So it would be a way of doing something with it and not using the fucking Megatron again. Did I mention that?
What they'll do is retool this into Shattered Glass Galvatron.
Oh my god.
Who's also purple, if I remember right.
Is it? Is she? Really?
Yeah, I think he's just purple.
Alright. That seems like really low effort.
It was Shattered Glass in the late days. Very low. Oh my god.
What?
So since we've no news, I don't feel bad about sharing this with you. I heard during the week that company, what are they called? Snap Design.
I don't know them.
They're doing model kits, licensed model kits.
Okay.
Of turtles.
I saw Jai put this up on Facebook or something or whatnot.
Yeah, I had a look. It's basically what they're doing is like a single turtle mold, and then they're just doing different accessories and add-ons for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Except the Donatello is taking some visual inspiration from the Donatello from the movie, so it can go to hell.
That's not the Donatello you do.
Yeah, just saw this pop up on Twitter. Another design they're doing.
Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, that Shredder looks really good.
Yeah, it's Gundam Shredder.
Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, actually. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kevin Nash from The Secret of the Ooze.
All I can think of is the Death Side. Especially the shoulders.
Well, the upgraded form I'd give you, not the original.
Well, the Death Side Hell.
Yeah, that's the one.
Endless Waltz Hell.
Yeah. I can see that.
Which is the only Death Side I actually care about.
Oh.
It's got giant bat wings.
I've put in a pre-order for the Death Scythe that's coming out this month.
The high grade, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
you have I know you've got the heavy arms. Do you have the other ones?
I do have Sandrock, and I have the Fenichi, so I don't need the wing, because fuck wing.
Yeah.
And I don't have the Wing Zero, because again, it's just kind of bleg. And they're gonna, to be fair, they're doing a new wing real grade anyway, so I can get
if
that.
I was getting wing, I'd get the real grade right now, because it does a bit more than the regular wing anyway.
Well, exactly. And I've got, if you're gonna get the high grade, you get the Fenichi, so, you know.
They haven't announced the Shenlong, have they?
Not yet, but I mean, it's the next one they're doing, obviously.
And then, oh god, we'll probably get a re-release of the Tallgeese or 2.0 of the Tallgeese.
I'd like them to do Epion next, but yeah, it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be the Tallgeese, because most of it's already done since they did the Mercurius and the Virgo or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I'm thinking like there's the Altron.
Which one's the Altron? Oh, the Altron's Shenlong upgraded, isn't it? The 2 dragon heads. Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, there's a very mild difference between the Sandrock and the Sandrock Kai.
They've already done the Sandrock Kai. It was a P-Bandai exclusive.
In high grade?
Yeah, it was an exclusive.
Cool.
He came with an extra machine gun.
Ooh, neat. Heavy Arms doesn't get a change. It just gets rebuilt at one point, doesn't it?
No, it gets a slight upgrade.
Yeah.
Do you know what the upgrade was?
What?
His Gatling gun arm has 2 Gatling guns on it.
Cool.
Instead of 1, it was a big upgrade, so I can see that as a P-Bandai.
Wing Zero.
Yep, obviously.
Oh, Death Side Hell, the original version, with that stupid shoulder thing.
No, it also had a cape, but it didn't have as good of a cape.
No, it's that stupid shoulder thing where it like folds over his entire front of his body, and then when he's in battle, like it goes up, but there's one in the back as well, so he ends up with these big pylon things sticking up in the air.
That's right, yeah.
I always thought that looked dumb. So Epion, so they've got at least 4?
And they've got quite a few grunt suits they can do as well. They've got the Ares, the Taurus, the Cancer. I don't think they'll do the Cancer because it's a silly crap suit.
Yeah, but I'm really expecting, like, Epion's got to be on the page somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the fucking Epion, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, like, and they've got, I know there's like a manga-only repaint they can do of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, I think it's just a white Epion.
Oh, that sounds lame. Is that just not the Tallgeese 3 at that point, though?
Well, I know there's a version of the Tallgeese in one of the mangas that has the angel wings.
Okay.
Which is also lame.
Yeah, I mean, the angel wing thing's just lame in general, I thought.
I don't think the angel wing concept is bad. I think in execution it's never looked good. It looked okay in that one scene in Endless Waltz where he comes out of the pod.
I think it looks lame. I don't think I've seen it on a mech where it's looked good.
I think it's never looked good on any of the kits because it's just inflexible wings on sprue.
I mean, in
plastic.
It doesn't just need to be a model kit. I mean, in fiction. I mean, in motion. I don't think it's ever looked good.
I'm trying to think now. Like, I prefer demon wings, so that's one of the things. Like, I think demon wings look cool and everything.
Yes.
So, but I would say I do think, like, that scene where he comes out of the pod does look good. I just don't think it was worth it being the main design for the next 20 years.
The only concession I would give that statement is I would agree it was animated well. I don't think it, from my perspective of visual aesthetics, I don't think it looked good, but I will accept that it was animated well. That's what I'd say.
Okay. I don't like any of the other design choices they made for the upgraded wings, for the Endless Waltz Wing Zero. I don't like it being in mostly that weird blue. Like, it's weird. Why just keep it in the, like, where it needs red. It needs red. It really needs red.
It's fine. It blew itself up by the end of the movie anyway.
Yeah. But it did very little in the movie, actually.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was very much there to sell a toy. Everyone else did something.
Well, no, all the other ones take part in that big fight at the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said they all do something.
And, like, the Altron has a few different scenes, like, including fighting. The only action thing the Wing Zero has is against the Altron.
Pretty much. And then just shooting at the ground.
And like, he doesn't even do anything in that fight. He fights for 2 minutes and then goes, why am I fighting? And then drops.
Yep.
And falls into the ocean. and then talks to Wing Zero for a bit.
I'm not a big fan of that Endless Waltz movie.
I don't remember it very well. I remember a few scenes, but
I
like I said, Wing, what I want to do at some point is watch the Japanese version. I want to see if the writing's different.
Okay.
Because all I remember really of the version I've seen is hilarious dubbing.
I mean, it was of the time, wasn't it?
Yeah. It weren't good.
It weren't. No. Anything else on those Turtles things, Mr. Mikey? Info on the Turtles things?
No, that's all I know about them.
Do we know when they're coming out or anything like that?
Nope,
oh.
I don't. Someone else might, but I don't.
All right, fair enough. Well then, Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun, son?
Not a lot. I haven't had much energy, to be completely honest.
Oh my god, so lazy.
A lot of work and a lot of nonsense.
Oh my god.
But also, that's weird.
What's weird?
Sorry. Just, never mind. What have I done? Finish Witcher.
Ah, yes.
Finish Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good game, honestly. Good story, good characters. I like Geralt a lot.
Jerry of Rivia.
Yeah, Jerry of Rivia. I think it's nice. I think they've got I like how you do have options, and there's a few different endings to the game, but you can never make him... Like, it's not a case like Mass Effect or something like that where you decide if he's a hero or a villain, really.
Wait, are you telling me there is not a green ending, a blue ending, or a red ending for The Witcher 3?
There are 3 endings based on what happens to Ciri. I'll say that much.
Are they just color choices, though?
Yes, Ciri has blue hair, brown hair, or red hair.
Oh my god!
But
Mass Effect.
So Geralt is just Geralt.
Okay.
It's just like you can have Geralt being nice or Geralt being mean, but it's always Geralt.
Mm.
Like he's always influenced by, like, to the point where, like, you do have scenes where you can do like mean stuff and everything else, but they feel very counter to the character's personality.
Does it feel like the game wants you to choose the good options?
It wants you to choose options that lean towards morality, but also lean towards practicality.
Okay.
Now, and sometimes it gives you asshole options. Like, you can be really mean to Ciri in a couple of scenes, but those options are only there because people expect those kind of options.
Right. More so than that they deserve
because there's no way in hell like one of those scenes would ever happen. At least like any of those scenes would ever happen. It just the narrative is about a guy who's like, you follow Geralt as he's trying to find his adopted daughter the entire time. Many of these scenes do not make sense if you don't play them out that way.
Do you think it would be better if those options, like if the choices weren't there? Do you think it would help the narrative just so it could focus on Geralt's fixed character, shall we say? Because, I mean, he does have a fixed character because he comes from a book series.
Absolutely. Also, didn't realize this at all. Technically, not technically, the Witcher games aren't strict adaptations, they're sequels.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about that, and I was like, I didn't think that was the case. I didn't know that.
Because, like, I know the writer of the books has a very low opinion of video games.
Yeah, and now he was really upset that the games did so well because he wanted to get in on the money after that.
Yeah, no, apparently he went in for a lump sum originally because he thought the games would fail.
Yep, he made a poor choice.
But CG Projekt Red offered him a percentage of all sales.
Yeah, they were quite nice about it.
Yeah, but also, like, he's like, how can a video game have any kind of narrative structure? It's all nonsense. I'm just like, the opinion of someone who doesn't play games and therefore is approaching something from a point of view of ignorance. Well, it's your business. It's your money.
You know how we were talking about internet terms before the podcast started? That is what you'd call, or the internet would call, a boomer moment, Mikey. And I think that's appropriate. And I think you could agree that would be an appropriate term for that, right? Because it's not like The Witcher didn't come out, like the first game, it came out a while ago, but it was still at the point where there were some very well-regarded storytelling story games, because it came out after Metal Gear Solid 1, and I think Metal Gear Solid 1 was the first, like, it was the big, like, movie cinematic experience game. It was the big one, not the first story game, but, you know.
I really feel bad for him saying this. He said, outside of Poland, this is a direct quote, outside of Poland, I believe that the books help sell the games, not the other way around.
Oh, no, that's not true. And I'm just like,
you are living in a wonderful, naive place.
Yeah, without money.
Because the only reason I'm considering looking at the books is because I've played the game now.
Not that you watched the series?
No, I watched the episode. But
we'll get to that.
it's one of those moments where I'm just like, that is someone very disconnected from his market.
Very much so.
But so yeah, the game's characters are good. I like all the characters. You do have like a couple of different romance options if you want. Again, you have romance options, but between like two characters, Yennefer and Triss. But the game is really structured, telling you that your romance option is Yennefer.
Okay.
Like there's also a really like a weird scene where you can basically say like, "Oh, a magic spell has made me be in love with you for years," which it hasn't.
No,
because like you can choose that or say like, "I love you," and I'm just like, why is that in there?
Like you said, for the choice option, because
the
it's
narrative
the thing to do.
Is so driven by the fact that this is about a man and his loves,
right?
And his love for this one his love for this one woman, and his love for his adopted daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like, it's very strange to me. Like I was caught off guard. I'm just like, I mean, I'm kind of tempted to do it, but it's one of the things you do it just because, like, you know what would be a real asshole move right now. But yeah, their approach to open world is different, like separated levels, open world design, a lot of fast travel points. Like there's a lot of like, if you want to be a crazy completionist and go to all these little question marks on the map, you can.
Yeah.
But you really don't have to. You do have to take a lot of quests, because the only really effective way to level up in the game is the amount of experience you get from quests.
Rather than like grinding out enemy encounters kind of thing.
Just not worth it.
Okay.
Just not worth it. Enemies are too far spaced out on the map, and the amount you get from an individual enemy is just too small.
Interesting. Okay.
But they don't like throw an infinite amount of quests at you either. So
it's not like, oh, you've come to find all 5 of my chickens around the town again. Well, good luck. See if you can find them all this time, Jerry.
No, you do have one where you're herding a sheep, but you are herding the sheep to use it as bait to kill a monster.
That makes sense.
So that's good. So I like the approach to the open world a lot better than stuff like Red Dead, because Red Dead's approach was like, this is a big map, now run, bitch.
Oh yeah, like when you got fast travel, it was a godsend.
Yeah. Fast travel is there from the start, and like, okay, cool. Like, you can run. I'm not saying you can't, but the map's not enormous.
Is there a reason to run? Like, will you discover things if you do run to places?
Yeah, no, you will find random stuff, and like some people whose quest marker won't appear until you run past them. Like you'll be running along and you hear someone like calling out, "Hey, Witcher." Hey, Witcher, you're fine.
So it does have aspects of Red Dead, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Red Dead does stuff as well.
I would say none of, like, the really interesting quests.
Okay.
Because there's some very good, like, well-written quests in this. Big problem with the quests is repetition, because apart from story quests,
right,
most of what you're doing is the same in every quest. Which is you take a quest, you go to a spot, you use your super senses to find a trail, you follow the trail, you kill a monster or someone at the end.
Okay.
And you repeat that for pretty much every quest. It's not bad, and like I said, the story elements around those quests usually work out pretty well. Something else to be concerned about with the game is its combat. Like, if you are going to play in a super, super technical way, you can go with all the potions and go with all the alchemy and everything else that lets you get advantage against this, that, and the other monster. But apart from the healing potion, I didn't use any other potion in the game, and apart from like a normal level of enjoyable challenge, I did not feel the need to ever use any of the other potions or upgrades or take advantage of monsters' weaknesses. Did you feel that if you were playing on a high difficulty, that might have changed? Maybe. Because sometimes there are games like I think Devil May Cry 5 is a great example of, if you play on a certain difficulty, the game will just go, you don't need to worry about playing 90% of the game mechanics. You can just ignore them. I wouldn't be shocked, but I think that would be a little unfair considering how hard it can be to find ingredients to make the potions. Okay. Are you meant to buy them? No, you're meant to collect them. You can buy them, but you're meant to collect them. Okay. One thing I will say, like, once you have bought the potions, as long as you can, like, have something to fill them up, you don't have to, like, continually make them. Like, if you have alcohol on you when you're resting or something, the potions fill up. Okay. which I think is a really nice touch. It means like you don't like, okay, you've used up all your health potions. Go find all the materials to make 5 more.
Yeah.
Combat itself is a bit repetitive because it basically comes down to parry, dodge, swing. Parry, dodge, swing. No real combo system. Like I said last week, you do have a heavy attack, but you do more damage with 3 quick attacks.
Right. And then never changed, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you do have a bit of variety with spells. Although I would like if you got more spells as the game went on. And some of the spells, like, I don't find very useful. Like the shockwave one, really, I've never used that in combat. But so yeah, the combat is something I think is a little up and down about. I would say also it's a very glitchy game.
Okay.
Not just the horse. There are game-breaking bugs in this game. There are quests. If they break, there is no way to fix them.
Oh no!
And you just have to ignore them.
Oh no!
Like I was on one looking for an armor set, and like, okay, I'm in the room where the armor's supposed to be. Spent about half an hour looking. Went online and looked, and just like, yeah, there's a long-standing bug in this game that CD Projekt Red never fixed. And basically said they were never going to fix. Which really makes me think the whole cyberpunk thing may not have been out of kilter.
Yeah, because I heard that when people were bringing up the cyberpunk issue, it was meant to be like it kind of suggested like The Witcher was bugless or had been for the most part fixed, and now you're clearly saying that that's not the case.
No, and it's 6 years since release.
Yeah, phew, yeah. To be fair, at that point, they were never going to fix it. If they don't fix it within the first year, it's not going to be fixed.
Yeah. But like, obviously, it's not like Cyberpunk levels of oh my god. But for a AAA game, it's a little noticeable,
right? Especially when
overall,
it's so highly regarded and everybody only sang for. Like I heard everybody give it like 9 to 10.
It's not a 10 out of 10 game. It's an 8 out of 10.
But Angry Joe, Mikey.
Good for him. He can't tell a movie from the back of his arse.
We'll talk about that.
I mean it in a nice way. I respect his opinion on games.
He doesn't watch us. He doesn't care about our podcast. It's fine.
I don't care. I care about people.
No, don't lie.
But no, it's a very enjoyable 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 game. But if you came to me right now, I'd say like that's what we call early marketing hype. Or early adopter hype as well. I got the DLC was on the version I bought. I'll probably give it a go. I heard the second DLC is supposed to be really strong. I'll give the DLC a go, and I'll have fun with it. But it's an 8 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of flaws, but it's really, really bolstered up by the quality of the story. Like, I will say one thing about the story: the ending is quite rushed, and there's several elements in it that they did not set up well.
Okay.
One big one to do with Syria and a concept called the White Frost, which is not really explained how she does what she does.
I mean, does it end or does it leave itself open?
It has a bit of a rapid ending. It has a bit of a rapid ending.
Like it ends. It's like
it ends. But like one of the DLCs is like the ending.
Ah, okay.
But it has like an ending, but in the form of some short epilogues.
Okay.
And a cutscene, and I thought it was a bit sudden.
Right.
So that would be something. So I'm very comfortable giving it an 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend if you're into action RPGs or if you're into open world games, this is one to check out. It's not a game I love in any way. It's a game I like, but it's not a game I love in any way. Like I will not try for 100% on anything in it.
Wow.
I'm like I said, I'll probably do the DLCs and then never look at it again. But
which is just as well. I mean, you only you got it on heavy sale like I did.
Yeah.
So it's not like a big deal really at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah. And I don't feel a need to try and play again to see if I can play Bad Boy Girl and get the worst ending or something like that.
Yeah.
I do want to check out some of the books, although I have, given the tone of this, I have a horrible feeling they're quite Game of Thronesy.
Maybe.
And my opinion of that universe in general is not a secret. But I will probably pick up at least The Witcher, the original book, and try that out. Yeah, so apart from that, I didn't do much, and honestly, I was a little late coming to recording because I was getting something watched just to make sure I had something to talk about. So the only real things of note is I watched the next episode of the Demon Lord show, which I think was the weakest episode of the series so far.
How not dissimilar,
not just the season.
Mean? What episode was it? 3, 4?
Episode 4.
Okay. I've seen 3, I haven't seen 4 yet.
4, I think, was just the weakest episode of the show.
Okay.
not just the season. But just nothing really happened, to be honest. There's a lot of gags.
Okay.
Some of them feel like they're a little out of place. Like there's the running gag of like people taking him, like he's doing his own Demon Lord shtick, and the party's like getting like hurt by what he's saying, and I'm just like, he's saying the same shit you all let roll off your backs all the time. Like, this is not the, like, why are you all kind of like, oh, I'm upset now? Because it's a gag episode, and the gag is he's upsetting people.
Okay.
But I watched episode 5 of Thunderbolt Fantasy, which was a backstory episode, really, for a character from season 2. It's got some very cool visuals in this one. Very good artistic visuals. Story was pretty interesting. It's not a shocking backstory for the character, but it's kind of like, okay, that's what I expected. Also setting up some more stuff going on. Also bringing in the cross promotion I did not see coming.
Oh, with Fate, right?
No,
because I did see the crossover they had with Arturia from Fate. I think that was just a promo thing, though. That was a promo thing. But at one point, the shifty one, Rin, he's disappeared off to do shifty things, and just like, he left us a bag. What's in the bag? He reached into the bag and pulls out something that really gives you a sense of scale of these dolls. A Nendroid. Oh my god.
He pulls out the Nendroid of Rin Setsia.
Okay, that's... Okay, why?
And then the Nendroid starts talking because it's a doll he made to act as a communicator, but it's got all the different faces, and it moves, and it's got the little hands, and like, you flick the doll, and it changes to like a Nendroid, oh, you've hit me face.
Is this a better version of the dog from
yes,
Zero One?
Much better.
But it's
much better because
it's
played
though, right?
It's not important, but it's a joke.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas the dog from Zero One was just like, this is completely rearranging your character.
And is taking up 2 to 3 episodes of focus, right?
And will never be talked of again.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a gag, where it's just like, this is an Android from a year or two ago. We could just stick it in. And it also really gives you a sense of how big these puppets are. Because, like...
I mean, they must be pretty big, right?
The Nendroid is about half the size of the puppet's head.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine these things are, like, probably bigger than a Muppet.
Well, like, when they're holding the Nendroid, like, they've got the puppet holding the Nendroid's about the same size as, like, the Boundock in your hand, or, like, a Voyager or a Leader figure.
Yeah.
So, like, just basically imagine that scale. That thing's got to be at least 3 or 4 feet tall.
Yeah. Again, I'm not shocked, because I think I remember, like, at the end of the first movie, or the end of the series too, it showed, like, at least 2 or 3 people had to operate one doll.
And these things are chunky.
They must be fucking heavy, because they're full of materials.
They are not made of felt.
No.
But yeah, Thunderbolt, still a big improvement on season 2.
Well, that's something, thankfully.
And I'm still enjoying it. And the other thing is, I watched episode 4 of the 86.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting. It's basically kind of dealing with the fallout from the previous episode. Sort of setting up what I'm sort of the new relationship norm between the handler and her unit. Undertaker. And I'm curious to see where it goes. Like, obviously, like, where it's going to go is that everyone ends up as friends in the end, because that's this kind of story they're telling. Yeah. But, it's dealing with the fact that, hey, you're... Even if you think you're being nice, sometimes you are being dehumanizing in this world, because you're talking to a bunch of voices on the radio that you've been raised to think are literally robots.
Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this show, but I always come back to this. I think it would have been really interesting if they've gone with AIs, not humans.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, I think, like, if you had all the same stuff, like what's their names, everything else, but you just play it out, these are actual AIs. And the real cool, the sci-fi world issue is that because, like, cartoon racism, which is what this show is about, is always so extreme. Because it's not just, I hate you because you look different from me, because they do have that kind of racism in this show. But it's like, I don't even look at you and consider you the same species.
Yeah.
Because you don't have silver hair. Which is, I think they're doing it fairly well, but it's so extreme, it makes it a little less real than you want it to be, especially for something which is essentially a message show.
Do you think it maybe would have been neat if they'd left that as a surprise? So maybe the AIs think they're human, or their visual representation,
or that the handlers think they're talking to AIs.
Yeah, and then you have that scene where you figure out, oh, they're actually digital entities. Who knew?
Yeah, but
that'd be neat.
If they were like actual AIs, I think it would have been really interesting, because then you're like, okay, like people are acting in a racist way because these are so fundamentally different from us on a biological level.
Yes, we don't see them as alive because technically they're not, but they have developed sentience and are alive.
This is about that one handler, like, you can play the same thing, like, they can say, like, okay, like, you've comforted yourself by saying, like, you're nice to us.
Yeah.
But you're still sticking us in a war machine and sticking us out in a battlefield, and then afterwards you just turn us off, or something like that. And you could, because obviously, I can tell you right now there's going to be a romance angle to this, but you could still play a romance angle on it. Like, you just have an AI.
Yeah.
I
mean, a really good movie called Her was a romance between a dude and an AI. That was a great film.
I just think it would be... It's like, I'm seeing this take, and it's not a bad take, and it's a take I'm liking all the characters, and liking the setup, and everything else, but I'm just looking at it sometimes and going like, I just really wish they'd gone the extra mile.
Yeah.
Because this still feels like a relatively safe approach to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, but 86 is still a good show. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just like, it's this one little thing that got in the back of my head that I haven't been able to shake. Yeah, and that's me, really.
Okay. All right.
I dragged it out on purpose because I literally did nothing.
That's fair. Damn it, Mikey.
What about you, Andy?
What did I do? I have watched... have I watched a new episode of VV? Let's have a look.
No, I haven't watched a new episode of VV yet.
Oh, no, the last episode of VV I watched was the one where they went to Robot Island, as I call it.
That's the last one I've seen,
episode
5.
Yeah, okay, I watched
where
Robot
Island. Where they oh, that poor little robot man.
The one where it's having a dream before it gets,
where just like, lovely people give me a name, lovely people who are erasing my soul.
Yes. I was like, oh, that's kind of bleak. That's fun. Dude with a robot wife as well. It's like, okay, every nerd's dream.
Yep. I'm still really betting, even without having seen episode 6, I'm super betting that what they're doing, whether intentional or not, is making the world more pro-AI.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the case. Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that evil teddy bear thinks that, but...
Well, no, I think he's very focused on the mission before anything else. And if you want to stop the AIs from being loved, stop having the AIs save things and fix things.
Yeah, stop having them show that they're like very human.
Yeah, you probably want the space station to have crashed on a human city, killing millions, because it would have if you could have implicated it as the robot, the AI chose to do that instead of choosing to put it into an ocean or something like that. Then you could go, then it clearly doesn't value human life, thus we need to take them out of circulation.
What you'd need to do is okay, so we need to do whatever they're doing and take it to the next fucking level.
Yeah.
Make it unforgivable.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's going down probably an obvious path unless something goes horribly awry, which obviously could be the case. But I did like is this cute? What would a child think of this, or a human think of this? And it's like, they would think, I guess it's cute. It's like, cool. We'll put it here for when the humans come and visit. Now let's go and commit suicide as these terrorists have invaded our space.
Yay. I like the sarcastic bedroom AI.
Oh, yeah. She seems to keep popping up, but then goes away very quickly.
Yeah, well, I like how her thing is I'm not fucking alive. I'm an AI. I mean nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm just programmed to be a dick.
Yeah, and the episode ends with, oh, hey, it's that dude I keep saving who keeps presenting AIs.
Who hates me and everything Well, it's fine. I should have let him die.
I hope he doesn't become romantically involved with me as the series goes on.
I once I realized he was there, I kind of assumed that he would have been the guy who sent him back.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
He looked too young.
Yeah, that's also true. Especially since it's 100 years or something, or maybe it's his kid or something like that. But it does seem slightly strange that she saved his life 2 or 3 times now, and he's like, "No, fuck this AI, I'm gonna kill her."
Yeah. It's also it's something I'm interested in. Like the episode, the arc for 3 and 4 is kind of about him bonding with an AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe we'll find out more in episode 6, I guess.
The big reveal was like, I didn't care about her. She was just a dickhead.
Oh, but he did. He did like her. That's what he'll do. He'll be like, no, I actually did like her. Damn. Oh.
He's in denial.
I also figured out something dumb I did this week, which was apparently I watched episode 2 of 86 first. So I was like... So it still made sense. Like, I was just kind of dropped into it and went, okay, well, things are just moving. I kind of remember what Mikey said. So then I watched episode 1 and went, I don't feel that I lost anything by jumping to episode 2, apart from a little bit more of the backstory of how everybody who works at the silver-haired people's place are just off their tits on booze most of the time, which is like, oh, okay, this sounds like a really pleasant workplace. Ooh, yay. So
Yay.
I did that. I watched Dino Zen on episode 4. It's still moving very slowly.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love saying that.
It seems like they're setting up... it seemed like 4 was the relationship setup one. As you've got the main blue-haired character probably fancying abandonment issue girl. And you've got shut-in castaway fancying the married lady who works at the store.
I see that ending badly.
So do I, because that can't end well, because she's getting married or is married. So what's going to happen then? Nothing good can come.
Or was married, or like the entire point is kind of like she assumes he's living a normal life and he's a shut-in.
Yeah, for whatever reason, which we don't know why. I'm hoping we'll... No. I hope there'll be a reason and not it's just because. You never know. I wouldn't say it was an amazing episode. It's just like it's well made and it's good. It's just like the rest of
You're
the
just
3
waiting
episodes.
for it to happen.
Yeah,
you're just waiting for it to happen.
We're still waiting for things to keep happening, and I guess like something will probably kick off by episode 6. Surely, halfway through the show, they'll be okay. Turn the gears up. We're moving. At the moment, it feels like okay. Here we go. Not a huge amount going on. But it's like I say, it's still entertaining. It's still good. It's just slow. I finished rewatching Galaxy Quest this week because after our conversation last week, I bought it, I got it, and I watched it over 2 nights. Galaxy Quest, still very good, unsurprisingly.
Yes. What a shock.
Yeah, what a shock indeed.
Did you see that Barricade 64 had watched it? Or Wheeljack 64 now he's calling himself.
Because he's a good lad, that's why. I hope he enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, he did. He said he corrected the mistake because it never occurred to him to see it, and he has now, and he liked it.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yes, it's a very good movie, and clearly it's not like there's any limit, as demonstrated by someone who hadn't seen it, who's now seen it.
Are you implying anyone in your comments?
Who's implying anything?
That's the question.
You know who implies things?
Who?
People who have made bad life choices.
Oh my god. What a statement.
What a statement to make.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I also did a dumb this week. I was meant to get out the Patreon woo-woo, but I found that I had either deleted it or not downloaded it. Thankfully, Mr. Jason had a backup copy, so I'll be able to get Unfortunately, the sound quality is not going to be the best. That's on me. But you and Jason talking about the Pacific Rim anime should hopefully go up at some point this week. I don't know when exactly, but it'll go up at some point this week, because I was dumb. I also got 2 boxes this week. 2 boxes of things. One was a box...
Children.
Did I talk about getting a box from Gruff last week?
No, you didn't.
It must have been just this week, then. Excuse me, I got a box of from Gruff this week, which was all of his Night Haunts, which are his spooky ghost boys from Age of Sigmar, because he's moving house, so he needs to get rid of stuff. So it was literally a box full of spooky ghosts. I bought some paint stripper, because his paint scheme doesn't match up with mine, and I'm very...
Hang on. His paint scheme what?
Doesn't match up with mine.
I heard a pause there. I felt like you were about to say was shit.
No, it just doesn't match up with mine.
No, it's okay. You can say it.
He's gone with yellows and reds, where mine are more blues and greens primarily. So they need to be scrubbed.
You heard it here, kids.
What's
Gruff
that?
did
What's
a
that?
shit paint job.
Oh my god!
You heard it here, kids. Gruff did a shit paint job, and he said so.
My god!
So, Andy, I don't know how you could say it about that, man.
The process of paint stripping is arduous, shall we say? You have to put it in a thing called biostripper, which is an incredibly viscousy, white, fluidy material. Or at least it starts off as that until you start scrubbing the paint off. and you were there with a toothbrush trying to get into every nook and cranny and get this gunk off of it and get all the paint off of it. It is. I have a lot of figures to go through and strip. I have a lot to go through. It's going to take a while. I'm trying to get into a habit of doing 8 a day because I can only fit 4 into a tub of my biostripper, and it takes like 2 to 3 hours for it to work, and then you spend however long, maybe 45 minutes scrubbing them with a toothbrush, and then you put the next bunch in, and then wait another 2 to 3 hours. So it's a process at the moment. So I did that. That's been part of my week. And I also got a box from HLJ, which was nice. Hooray, with Goondooms and robot model kits.
Goondooms?
Goondooms are plenty. Well, not plenty, but a few. So I got the SDW, I think it's the SDW Heroes Nobunaga. It's the Epion. From the new
the one that looks kind of like he's a pirate.
No. No, Nobunaga is not a pirate.
No, I know that Nobunaga wasn't a pirate, but like when I saw one, I think it was the one that said Nobunaga. I thought like pirate or admiral or something like that.
No, there is one that is based off the Crossbones, which is
I know the one the one that's based off the Crossbones. Like that's in the Astray group.
Okay.
So the one I'm thinking of is it's Nobunaga. It's a Nobunaga type thing, but it looks like No, that's definitely not the one I was thinking of then.
Okay, yeah, this is
one. It's got like an admiral's hat. I haven't seen this one actually.
Yeah, obviously for the shots I've sent Mikey are the unpainted, unstickered ones, and it's just like every other one. It's like, hey, you need a lot of stickers to make this look as good as it can do. But the neat thing about it is this one actually has elbow joints, which is kind of a rarity with at least these ones. It was quite fun to put together. It's neat. It's got a good look, good solid look. I like Nobunaga as well. He's a very prominent boy. You may have heard of him. He may have been used in 1 or 2 things in the past.
What madness is this, Andy?
I know, I say crazy stuff, but sometimes it might actually be true. And obviously these kits are very cheap, so it's all good. I also got one of the new 30-minute mission kits. It's the Sengoku type, the Spinner Toy, I think it's called. So it's got a new body type and very Japanese aesthetic to it, a samurai aesthetic. Have you seen it, Mikey? Do you know of it?
I know there's Sengoku ones. I don't know which one it is.
Okay, right. I'll send you an image of it with its armor on, because then you can get a grasp of it. It's very good, just like the rest of the 30-minute mission kits. It's very fancy. I think I like this one a little bit more because I like the general aesthetic to it. And it is kind of nice and thin in comparison to the other more bulky ones.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of this. Yeah.
It's really
neat. You can do like a ninja version of it as well as a kit to make it a ninja.
Yeah, the ninja one's coming out this month. It's the blue one. So that's coming out. I've got that on pre-order because I like this. It's quite obviously these kits are very, very posable, and I think these ones are more posable than the previous 30-minute missions because it is so slender, and they have done some different things with its joints and articulation, so you can do a bit more with it. But it stands well next to the other 2 variations. So apparently in quote unquote fiction, this is a third faction within the it's like the Portanovas. What are the other factions called? There's the Earth Alliance forces, the Battalion forces, or the Balian forces, and then these ones are the Maxion forces.
What about the girl ones that are coming out?
The 2 robot girl ones are, I think, part of the Maxion forces. And I don't know about the 30-minute sisters. I think the 30-minute sisters, which are, for those not aware, just anime girls, not robot anime girls, just anime girls.
Those, right.
I don't know if they're connected. I think they're their own thing.
I would be surprised.
Mikey, it could be a thing. Don't put it past them.
I know, but the 30 minutes is supposed to be military, and it's like, well, halfway through this military movement, we decided we needed robot girls.
What if they're not robot girls? But what if the human girls are like Ultraman ladies and they just grow big?
Or it's like Macross, where it just happens to be these giant ladies.
Yeah, it could be a thing. To be fair with the female robots, I think the idea is it's coming from this samurai Japanese faction, and I think, again, they're meant to be a lighter version of the mechs. I think. I don't know. I won't know until whenever they come out, but there's 2 of those coming. So I got him, and I also got the Alice Gundam, which we were talking about earlier. It's the first time I've had one of these Core Gundam kits where you have a Core Gundam and then you have armor which you put on it. I still don't think the colors of the Alice Gundam look great. I don't like the blue that they used for it. If I was going to repaint anything on the Alice Gundam, I'd probably repaint all of those light blue bits to be a different color to make it pop a bit more. But the overall kit is very solid. It's good. It's worth, like, I don't think you've had one of these Core Gundams at all, have you, Mikey?
No, I've wanted to, but I've never been sure which one I wanted to get.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend trying to pick up at least one of them. I don't know how they vary, but in terms of quality, I would imagine... I think they were all pretty well regarded in reviews, so I would definitely pick one up. I picked up the Alice because it's not a Gundam-looking kit, and that's always a boon, at least to my eyes. I want to pick up the fake new Gundam armor for it as well, because I like the look for it on... I think that's a really good look. The only issue I have with it is that the face makes it look too much like a Gundam. But again, that was the idea of it anyway.
Yeah.
And the last thing I got in the box was the Hiroboshi from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans mobile game offshoot.
Which is the Hiroboshi? I don't know that one off the top of my head. Like, Iron-Blooded's not exactly my strong suit, but...
It's the newest one. I'll see if I can get you an image.
Because I know there's like a... Actually, hang on. Is the Hiroboshi a Gundam or a different mobile suit?
No, it's a Gundam. It's one of the 72 armors.
Weren't they all named after demons?
Yes.
The 72 Demons of Hell or something like that?
That's right. Yeah, the Hiroboshi is a remake of the Marcusius, I think it is. Not the Marcusius.
Yeah.
Is it the Marcusius?
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't know this one, but so shouldn't that be something from Dante's Inferno?
It's the Marcusius. It's like the Hiroboshi is the Marcusius, just like lighter. It's the same frame.
Okay,
it's like there's the Marcusius, and it's the same frame, but then the Hiroboshi is like in the modern time, and that's what the armored version of it is now. I don't know why it's called the Hiroboshi. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm just like, I know what little I know about the Iron-Blooded Orphans connections. I'm just like, okay, cool.
No, cool. You're quite right. But like I say, they're the same thing. I don't know why they changed the name for it. It might explain in the mobile game, but I wouldn't know because I wouldn't want to play a mobile game anyway. Because of course I wouldn't. And then it was just the upgrade set for the 30-minute mission kit and another upgrade kit for a 30-minute mission kit as well. But that was only a minor one. So it was quite a nice little box. I still got the Hiroboshi to build, but the rest of the week was building the other 3 or 4 bits. And I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else of significance I've done. The rest of the week was just the usual work grind, so that's never fun, but it's got to be done.
Was it this week or last week you were talking about Mortal Kombat?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. People have been... Mortal Kombat, I haven't seen it, but that came out, and I saw people being surprised it wasn't a good film, which was kind of surprising to me, because I was like, did anybody see the trailer for this film and really think it was going to be good? Like, honestly, if you think it was going to be good, rock and roll, that's great. I think the trailer really summed up that it was not going to be a very good film. And I think this is... I mean, I'd argue that this is a thing that I see a lot. Like, I watch these trailers and I think, this looks like a bad film. It comes out, generally from the people who I respect, who critique these things, they usually go, yeah, this was a bad film. But then on Twitter, you see a lot of people who completely get behind it. That's cool, but I know for a fact that I wouldn't enjoy it. And I finished watching Invincible. Invincible didn't finish last week. It finished this week.
Cool. Was it good? It's
probably about a 6 out of 10 show when you look at everything.
Cool.
Primarily because the show focuses... its most interesting plot is shoved to being a B plot, which is who killed the Guardians of Earth or whatever they're called. Who killed the superheroes. You know who did it from episode 1, but so I'm not going to spoil it. But the problem is, like, the mystery around that is put to the background while the main focus of the show, primarily through the series, is Mark, who's the main character, who's invincible, learning how to be a superhero and dealing with his love life.
Cool.
Have you seen Spider-Man, Mikey?
Once or twice.
Then you have seen a lot of the A plot, unsurprisingly. One issue I have with Mark's... everybody in Mark's life, is a piece of shit. Everybody. His gay best friend treats him like shit, and is not very helpful. His female friend, Amber, I think her name was very judgmental and not very kind. She had a few nice scenes, but for the most part, she's not a very pleasant person. And his girlfriend is also kind of an asshole, especially with some of the lines that she throws out later on. I'll say this, that she breaks up with Mark and says, I knew you were invincible all along. But the previous episode, a situation occurs. Mark runs off to become invincible, to come back, and she breaks up with him there, being you ran away and left us there. And it's like, motherfucker, how can you say that you knew I was invincible when the last episode you were bitching that I ran away and left you in a dangerous situation? It's insane. It makes her look like an idiot. Everybody in the show who is around Mark is an awful person. There's no one person who I'm like, you're a good person. I like you. They're all shit. They're all shit. The last episode is actually not too bad. It's a pretty interesting episode. I think the real problem is the show. It's probably an issue with the comic as well. It's inflated. Like, I just want to have the interesting stuff, and this relationship stuff feels like filler. You could probably have cut down the show from 8 episodes to about 4 episodes. In my opinion, but a lot of people are really enamored by the blood. One amusing thing I saw with the Angry Joe review, was he and the other guys who were talking about it said that most, again, the same with me, most of the focus was on the relationship between Mark and his girlfriend and everything like that. And they said it was the least interesting part of the show, and it went on for way too long. 10 out of 10 series though. I was just there going, if the show is 90% stuff that you don't think is interesting, or let's be generous and say like 60% not interesting, and only 40% is interesting to really good, how can it be 10 out of 10? How can it be 8 out of 10? That's why I'm saying it's 6, because I think the bits that were interesting were good. They had some oomph to them. They had some bite, but there was just too much, just boring stuff. Episode 2 to maybe 4 are just skippable. They're just a drag to get through. At least I found that. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it though, Mikey, because I feel like I'm the crazy person as usual. And I want you to validate me.
I've read a few of the comics and I wasn't enamored by them. I
mean, it's Robert Kirkman, isn't it? Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think that kind of says it.
But like, it's very generic. From what I've read, like this is what I've read of the comics. It's one of those very standard of its time. What if we did a traditional superhero story, but we made it in a Game of Thrones-y crappy world where everyone's kind of shit?
Yeah,
had ultra violence in it.
It's let's do Marvel or DC, but then put it in the real world.
Well, it's basically Ultimate.
I think
they did with Ultimate X-Men in a way.
Oh, Ultimate! I wouldn't know about Ultimate X-Men, but I think it does. I think Ultimates was more interesting from what I remember. It's been a long time since I've read the Ultimates.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm like, I have a real problem. Like, I love dark stories,
sure,
and I love mature stories. I love violent stories, and like my favorite show from recent years was Primal. And
I thought you were going to say ReZero.
Yeah, well, that's a different.
It's a different thing, but it's also the same.
Yeah.
It's brutal as well.
Yeah, like, very brutal and violent and dark show.
Yeah.
But, and I'm thinking American-made stuff specifically in this.
Yeah.
So, and I was playing devil's advocate because you said, like, a lot of what your reviews were saying, like, Angry Joe's was, like, it's very bloody and violent, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I did very strongly defend Primal, which is an exceptionally bloody and violent show.
Yeah, it's weird because there is a lot more to Primal than it just being gory. And I think that's the difference. It feels sometimes the way a show presents itself to me feels like that this is the most important aspect of the show, which is the gore and look at the crazy action. I don't you could argue, I suppose you could argue that is the case with Primal. But when I watched Primal, I didn't feel that it was the most important thing. It felt like it was one of the positives. It was yet another positive of the show. It wasn't the main oomph to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But maybe someone wouldn't see that and they would disagree with me. I'm not sure. Invincible. When did Invincible come out? The comic, I mean, do you know?
Oh, God, 10 years ago now, I want to say.
Okay, so it is.
One.
I guess it...
It's kind of why I don't like The Walking Dead very much, if I'm honest.
If the show came out 10 years ago, I wonder if it would be more relevant, like the comic. Because I think the comic was probably a bit more punchy 10 years ago.
Yeah, because it wasn't the highlight of the what I call the crapsack world fiction.
Yeah.
Because Walking Dead's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
And like Walking Dead has spawned so many clones that are doing. Like there's one now at the moment called Animality, I think it's called, which is what if one day every animal in the world turned sentient, and it's just done. It's Walking Dead, but it's a Walking Dead post-apocalyptic world, except with where instead of zombies, you have a bunch of animals that are like being violent.
That sounds really silly.
And it's about like the people in the world, like the really violent relationships between the people and the animals now that the animals have free will, and like how do carnivores handle hunting now?
Okay,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's something I was vaguely interested in until I read an issue and I was just like, this is just Walking Dead with dogs.
Oh no.
And that's fine, but I don't think The Walking Dead is the be-all, end-all of fiction.
No, I think I think for me the problem with Walking Dead is it outlived its time. It just kept going, and it kept ending with the same themes. It's the humans are the real monsters. That was the key every season, practically.
And Invincible, when I read it, felt like I was reading a Mark Millar comic.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
Which is kind of like that story of, hey, the world is shit.
Mm-hmm.
And even people who tried to be good, shit things happen. Like, I remember when, like, I know this is, like, late in the run. I know there's an issue of Invincible where Invincible gets raped. And I know that was really big.
Why?
But, like, I have no objection to that being in there if you're going to make a good story out of it. But when going into that and having read what I've read, I'm just like, oh, look, something horrible happened to someone. That's original.
At this point, with rape stories, it feels like it's put in
there.
Oh,
rape stories are the laziest fucking thing to do.
It feels like it's always put in there to be the shock, and there's nothing else apart from the story says rape is bad, and it's like, yes, I know. I get so annoyed when I read like any kind of fiction these days, or engage in a fiction where like, and that woman over there, yep. She was raped, and that woman standing beside her, she was raped. That one standing beside her, she did the raping. Yeah. And like, I know Witcher's got a ton of it. I know. And like, I think every female character in Witcher has either been raped or has been attempted to be raped. I guess in the setting for the medieval worlds, it makes more sense for it to be there than it does in the modern world. Yeah, like it's something I hate about Game of Thrones. It's such it's a lazy bit of writing. Like it is. It's that thing, like, it's very easy to inject shock or horror or anything else by having splatters of blood or sexual violence or brutality or whatever. That's not how you get people. Like, ReZero has stuff like that, but what gets you at ReZero is when it goes after you, the viewer, on an intellectual level. Yeah. And when you, like, Primal, the way that works is that it's getting you on an intellectual and an emotional level. And that's when I get, like, wigged out or shocked or like disturbed or engaged by something, because it's going like everything around here, the explosions, the violence, anything else we have, that is a tool to draw you in and to emphasize our other points. Like Game of Thrones, all the violence and stuff was almost separate from the politics at times, and it just felt to me like violence, and a side story about the political side of things that was, for some people, really super interesting. And then shock moment. Yeah. And then everyone's raped, but everyone's not raped. And I hate that every character in DC at some point, if they're a woman, has had some sort of sexual assault. Yeah. It's just like, it's insulting to the characters, and it's insulting to people who have had to go through that.
Like, especially since it so often defines their character. Like, I can't imagine what it's like being someone who's actually had to go through that in real life and then have a fictional character and it's like they're using it as their motivation for being a hero or a villain. And just like, don't have a story where someone's being motivated by something like that. Like, have it where they're dealing with it, and if they're a stronger person as well at the end of it, maybe because they dealt with the shit things that happened to them. But don't use it as a narrative plot point because you can't think of anything more clever to put into your backstory.
It does usually feel very much, at least to me, like we're doing it to make a selling point for an edgy, like say, selling point issue, and it's like it feels, to me, it's kind of gross.
I think it's kind of creepy, to be honest. Like, fiction has an unhealthy relationship with sexual assault.
Yeah. That ends our Transformer podcast.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Yeah. Do you have any questions, Mikey, for this week?
No, I don't, I'm afraid.
Oh my god. I have some messages from Zitentomon4. Hey Andy, remember the super dirty French cartoon I told you about last year? It was last year, so definitely not.
Andy doesn't remember yesterday.
No, I actually have incredibly bad memory, and I think I know why, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, some mad lad on YouTube decided to review it. Oh, okay. Watch it / send it to Mikey before they take it down. Anyway, is it too early to talk Falcon Winter Soldier spoilers? Yeah, it probably is too early to talk Falcon Winter Soldier spoilers, but
I mean, you can to us, but I don't know about anyone else.
I've already watched a review on it, and it sounded pretty bad, to be honest.
I'm just not interested.
That too, I have zero interest. It kind of sounds like they take the Winter Soldier character and kind of poop on him for the most part, but hey ho. Also, the Invincible, the show, and comic are really good. T4. Well, unfortunately, it seems like both me and Mikey would disagree with that.
I can comment on the comic. I can't comment on the show. I might try it, but I might not.
I can comment on the show. Again, Mikey, I'd like you to validate me. So
between us, we have an entire opinion.
yeah, technically, yeah. I'm not. I can tell I'm not going to read the comic, but.
No,
I did think on a quick Angry Joe side note, he did make a funny comment, which is he's gonna buy the comics, but he's not gonna read them because he doesn't, or he's gonna try not to read them because he doesn't want to spoil the cartoon for the future.
And don't buy them.
That's what I thought. But apparently he wants to support the show, so he wants to buy them. And I thought to myself,
I'm sure it'll do fine. It's Amazon.
Yeah.
Believe me. You buying the comics is not supporting the show. It's maybe supporting the comics, but the comics are over, I believe.
I also thought, I don't think the two things flow together.
He can be a very interesting person.
Yes, he can. Which is, fair enough. We're all interesting people in our own way, I suppose.
I'm not interesting in any way.
I tell you this frequently. This is true. And it goes without saying that I have talked to people that bummed over that happened to Faye the Dragon in Spider So What. Oh, sorry. That I have talked to people that are bummed over I don't know what that means. I know Faye the Dragon in Spider So What. I watched Spider So What as well this week. It was a much better episode. Because there was no terrible animation, and it primarily focused on the spider. And I was like, it's a good show again. Hey, when's it going to shift to being a bad show again? Probably next time we go to the humans. Ho, ho, ho.
Cool.
I think we got one from Christoph as well. Let me quickly check on the Facebook. There's a picture of dead Jason. There he is.
Good. Sorry, what?
See also Private Breakdown is getting a Cyberverse toy in the West for the longest time. Hang on. He put up a gift which was press X to Jason, which I thought was funny. It's from Heavy Rain. Mikey, do you know that game?
No of.
Yeah, apparently there's one point where you're the dad in the mall and your kid was Jason and you keep pressing X to call out your son. Apparently his name was Jason. I liked it.
As long as we're beating Jason into the ground like a steak.
As it should be. My delayed 2 cents on Toy Scale is that it's not a problem unless it unless it is, and then it becomes a big problem. Remember what a huge creature 2012 Leatherhead from was? I guess he means from the Turtle show.
Yeah.
Well, here he is next to the Mikey, the smallest TMNT of Wave 1. Okay, yeah, so his issue was have you seen how big the Leatherhead was versus the Mikey?
No, I'm assuming it wasn't like in scale or anything.
Not at all. It probably should have been.
Oh, he wants a hug.
Yeah, it looks like Leatherhead's like small brother, like plaid arm or something. Kosher arm. Yeah, it doesn't look quite right. I would say for Transformers, I'm not like the one I remember not being happy with was how big Power Glide was for the Generations. Do you remember they gave him an Ultra class toy for some reason?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That wasn't a very good toy. I wanted to like it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't a great one to begin with, but it was like, why would you give Power Glide an Ultra class figure? It's not even like Power Glide was a super popular character ever.
Hang on, you just made me realize something.
What?
Power Glide's never apart from one legend, a really good legend, like from the Combiner Wars thing.
Yeah.
Power Glide's never had like a deluxe level redo.
Not yet. No. No, not yet. Has Beachcomber? I don't think he has.
No,
I think Beachcomber's had one.
Like Beachcomber, Power Glide, because they've had Legends toys, but they've never had deluxes.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's to keep them in scale with how they should be. So.
Yeah, but like in the show, they were the same size as Warpath.
Oh, that's
and Warpath wasn't a big toy. Like if we're talking like scale in show, not like they weren't small characters. And Bumblebee has one. Yeah,
maybe the idea in Hasbro is that those ones maybe need to be kept at the smaller scale because they were mini bots, even though in the show that they were bigger. I don't know. Who knows the logic?
Bumblebee and Warpath were mini bots.
Yeah, but Bumblebee is the best character in Transformers. Remember, he's the main character.
Cliff, I'm just saying. I just could it be there are Generation 1 characters no one cares about?
Well, Sea Spray.
No, they'll do like a Voyager class Sea Spray. No, they'll do a Commander class Sea Spray with
Do you know how
you do it? Do you know how you do it?
How do you do it?
Leader, Titan class.
No.
Tidal Wave.
No, I can tell you better.
Titan class Tidal Wave, and the deluxe figure that comes with it is Sea Spray.
I've got a better idea.
Yeah.
Generation Select.
Yeah.
Repaint. Slight retool.
Yeah.
Siege Megatron.
Into Sea Spray.
Into Sea Spray. Akin to the Shy Glass Megatron. You just give him sticky on parts. Boom, Sea Spray,
front,
suck it.
Just for the front.
To be fair, they might not even have to change that much. The front cockpit close enough to a Sea Spray thing, so maybe he just sticks on some things to give him a pouch underneath him. Boom. Man, we don't have enough of that Megatron figure, so let's get another one out. Why not? You know, do you remember when I made that image for the podcast of the War for Cybertron Megatron taking the gold as the best Megatron figure?
Yeah.
I guess I'd need to add another Megatron onto that.
No, what you need is basically like like an entire plinth, and it's just the different Megatrons.
God damn it. It's insane.
Or like you need two of the same Megatron because, you know, there's at least three in there that are basically identical, arguing over who gets the top medal.
True. There can only be one. Well, that's us done, Mr. Mikey. We're done for the show. Somehow we managed to fill her out to a longer show than I anticipated, but hey ho, you get us talking, we won't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop us. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and you can find I don't know where else you can find it, but you can send us a message on moonbase@gmail.com or on Twitter and Facebook or on Libsyn or in anywhere we have a communication.
Oh my god.
What about you, Andy?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, YouTube as Corporate Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. Pardon. And you can also find me on Twitch as CCTFW, where I'm playing Digimon Cyber Sleuths at the moment, and as of tonight, we are playing more of Warriors Orochi 4, which is a Dynasty Warriors style game.
Yeah.
And that's at 11 o'clock UK time in the evening to late. Very late.
Yes.
And you can also find me on ccbunker.weebly.com that way. And you can also, if you want, sign up to the Patreon page at Moonbase 2. Patreon.com/Moonbase2. And if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletron 2. And you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where me and Mikey talk about more extensive, non-transformy things in detail. Or Mikey and Jason, or, us and somebody else sometimes, depending who we can get, if we can be bothered. So, thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Mikey. Hopefully next week there'll be, I don't know, some more news. Less Siege Megatron. Hopefully.
Megatron. No, it'll be like the next version of Megatron, which is the Kombat hero version.
Oh, it could happen.
Oh, no. No. Reverse Megatron, but with no remolding. It's just a blue version of it.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was a Japan exclusive or an Asian exclusive. It could happen. You joke, but it's like, I could see it. But until next week, everybody, we, both me and Mikey, shall see you next time.
You are now leaving Moonbase